In this part, the other aspects of the campus, unique eco-friendly campus of Anil Agrawal Environment Training Institute is being explained. They are talking about the boundary walls and how they have been made.
So we expect that there will be a water channel or the flow was there. So as a when there was no construction like this, the water was flowing from here as a sheet flow. So I can't even stop that. As per the construction principles and sustainability principles, you should not do this. So what we do is like this one, there is no water coming, I don't expect, but here I expect that water to be running in a sheet flow. So immediately I changed this and then channelized it. I'll show you where I channelized it and protected my building. So because when you make so a little ledging which is there, na, that's basically to channelize the water to the direction where it used to go. So get into that nala. So that is, for example, maybe that is the biggest. These are the smaller, and this is the sheet flow. The sheet flow also channelized into nala and goes the way it used to go in the past. So we have not touched any of the water flows characteristics which were there in the past and currently as well. This is a second piezometer. So there are two piezometers at the two different levels we monitor.
ये कैंपस में आने वाला रेन वाटर जो है उसका कितना परसेंट रिटेन करते होंगे?
सर करंटली 9 रिचार्ज हमारे पास पिट्स हैं और उसके बाद 1 लाख का टैंक है स्टोरेज का जो साल में 2 बार भरता है, तो 2 लाख लीटर ऑफ वाटर वी स्टोर वी हैव ट्राइड टू
रेस्ट ऑफ दैट गोज
स्टॉप द ऑपरेशन जाएगा कहीं सर नीचे इसी में आएगा पर्कुलेशन। ये तो वो हो गया जो हम नीचे चैनलाइज पर्कुलेट होगा नीचे नाले में आएगा, नाले में हम बना के आगे हमने बनाया ताकि इसका रिटेंशन पीरियड थोड़ा लॉन्ग किया जाए, अगेन वो रिचार्ज जाएगा कुछ भी नहीं हुआ।
He is talking about how they are channelizing the water into the campus and storing the water.
एब्सोल्यूट कॉन्सेप्ट हम अभी जैसे रीसेंट अभी तो खाली है क्योंकि अभी रिसेंटली पिछले 1 साल पहले इसका रिसेटिंग किया था। रिजल्ट तो बहुत आता है।
ये भी आपका उसका रिचार्ज
नहीं सर, ये वेस्ट वाटर का सिस्टम है। So this is the soil biotechnology. There are 3 systems, wastewater systems, which has been installed on the compound. One is DWATS, which is on that side. This is soil biotechnology, and then there is an improved septic tank. 3 systems हमने यहाँ पे इंस्टॉल किए हैं। दिस इज सॉइल बायोटेक्नोलॉजी। इसमें क्या प्रोसेस है, ट्रिकल डाउन फिल्टर्स हम समझते हैं। ट्रिकलिंग डाउन में क्या, ऊपर से पानी यहाँ से परफोरेट होके बाहर आता है, मीडिया के थ्रू फिल्टर होता है, नीचे जाएगा। वी हैव अ पंप हियर, विल पंप फ्रॉम हियर टू द सेकंड वन। सो दीज आर 2 डिफरेंट सेल्स, 1 cell, 2 cell. After the 2 cell of the running, the input and output, so whatever the input which comes, the system is designed according to the final discharge, which is according to the CPCB standards. So am I doing land discharge? Am I doing water discharge? Either of those 2 standards, once I meet at that level, once the filtration is over, so I'm satisfied. In case it's not, then I may have to construct
a third
or fourth, or you can keep adding accordingly. But our job is done with this 2. We are able to meet the standards at a very good quality. So we have 2 cell system right now installed here.
वहाँ तुगलकाबाद में ज़्यादा सेल्स
वो नहीं, वो अलग सिस्टम,
वो अलग है,
वो सिस्टम अलग है, वो अभी दिखाएंगे उसको। वो उसका बड़ा वर्जन यहाँ भी लगा हुआ है।
And these
there is because if I, like for example, the perforations are, a small perforation is there. If the solid comes here, what will happen? It will choke my system. So that means there is an underground first stage where the solids are already segregated from it. Otherwise the system will choke within 5 minutes. The kind of tissues which we are pushing into it, as well as other things, because even after putting all our posters and all, people still do. So if we do not settle that and do not screen that, the system will choke within like 1.
This is pretty much a nature-based solution, right? These are all. Other than the pump, there is nothing that energy intensive is installed.
That is not the water tank. Water tank is this side, right?
This is a gym.
जिम बोलते हैं
Gym ये.
Mustard.
So generally क्या होता है वो we do not have this floor. So it's a 2-pit one. So it's a little more variation than the normal septic tanks. So this particular house is fed through this. अच्छा now इस घर में एक particular और भी चीज़ है. The AC which we are using in this are based on the natural refrigerants. So the air conditioning, because you must have heard कि global warming potential होता है, हम gas release हो जाता है, accidental release of air conditioning gas is there. So we had a lot of carbon dioxide or carbon emission.
Yeah.
So these are natural refrigerant based one. Now because we needed a very controlled environment, though we keep telling and keep writing, keep communicating that it's a no smoking zone. Reason primarily because these are flammable. Because when you smoke closer to these machines, because of the natural refrigerant, you need to keep any naked flames and away from it. So this is the building which is mostly occupied by the CSC staff. So that the control remains more intact to us. So this is another form of air conditioning which we use. So one, you have seen the 3-stage cooling system. One is the heat recovery unit which is there. And then there is a lab system is totally a different air conditioning, because you can't club the lab and your rest of the air systems together. So lab has a VRV system, and then this is the natural refrigerant based system. So these were like very experimental things which got introduced in the market at the time. So CSC brought those immediately so that we can at least have our own experience, and plus you can make your own experience on what we write, keep writing about these informations to you.
Why grills are designed so dense? I mean, you don't really need it.
Because there's something you have to leave to the architect.
Not from Kerala. You're from Kashmir. Kashmir. Basir Ahmad. Nasir.
Yeah, you work for?
I had been to Srinagar in that program.
These are all meant for water treatment. The water is recycled for the toilet use. Water from the toilet comes down here, and again it is back to the toilets for use.
Or if you don't maintain it well, then you may require it every month. तो उसका पहला स्टेज तो हो गया एनारोबिक बाथरूम रिएक्टर. दूसरे वाला जो है प्लांटेड ग्रेवल. Where the plants absorb the nutrients. The third is the polishing pond. The pond which was there, so it basically helps you to have a dissolved oxygen as well as UV light exposure. So the bacteria as well as the DO needs to be maintained so that the water should not flow. Time principles are written in this way that we can't have a cross contamination of putting into this soil.
So if you come here for the these chemicals, if you all start thinking about all this.
Thinking.
Or I mean designing, blueprinting.
So if you actually look at the history, the first building was in
Ek minute.
So as we explained before also, this building is again based on the courtyard based principles. So now what you see is this is a central courtyard. So you get, it's like fully shaded part of the structure which you have. So right now almost at the 9, even if the sun goes at the head at around 12, still you will get some of the portion which will remain shaded throughout. So what the design concept is that you have windows from the shaded part and the escape is onto the outer wall, so that the comfort which is retained between this courtyard could be flown into the classrooms, and that's how the people feel more comfortable. So you look at these windows which are there, these are primarily kept so that an exchange of the good retained temperatures and the conditions should start flowing into the structure.
And what is why this is being done? These stairs.
No, there are two entrances which are. There's one
Huh,
entrance
I
on
know
that
that.
side.
Huh.
So I'll explain it to you. So exactly, there are two entrances which are there. So one you can, it's on the other side.
Other side, yes.
Now when you look at the two sides of it, you find that there is a huge gradient difference between the two sides of the structure.
Okay.
So as I told you that we have not done much of cut and fill. All the basements are incidental here in this structure. So because of the level variation on the property on this side and the level of variation between the two sides, it's huge. That's where these structures, the below part, which many people think that it's a basement. It's not a basement. It's primarily the thing which comes out because of the gradient, which is the variation of the gradient which is there on the topography which we have. So that's we try to utilize to the best possible which is there. So that minimum like cut and fill could be done on the structure.
And how the water is recycled? It goes there downstairs.
So you can come here. So the cemented part which you see, that's our underground water storage tank. So all these pipes these are the rainwater pipes. So from the rooftop, whatever the rainwater comes, it goes through this and then gets stored into that structure, which is a 1 lakh liter storage capacity. So twice in a year we get rain, so roughly we get 2 lakh liters of the water, which is stored and utilized for the various purposes, fit to the requirement which is possible.
Okay. Only for bathroom purpose, I think this recycling is done.
No, this was originally, because this is the water which is coming in a very pristine conditions, but unfortunately or fortunately you do have other species who are sharing the same space, because when we started doing construction there were no monkeys, and then later on now the monkeys are coming. So when you have a fecal matter which is there and exchanging, then you can't use that water. You can even use it for the potable requirements, but now you cannot use it. It's being used for the irrigation purposes.
Okay. Mostly. And toilet use water, the water used in toilet, that goes and also comes back.
Yeah, so whatever is under the soil biotechnology, I'll take you there then. So you just look at the angle of the sun. So there, the soil biotechnology, water which after the wastewater treatment, the water comes on top of that, this whatever magic tower or the tower which you call it. There are two holding tanks which are there. So the water after treatment goes into those tanks, and through gravity it flows into your toilet systems. So that's how it's a 4-way pipe system which we have installed here. Okay. So reutilization of the wastewater is done.
Thank you, Rajneesh ji.